Member from Ottawa Centre.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is for the Minister of Aboriginal Affairs. Mr. Speaker, we're hear often in this House about how the government is working hard to form a new relationship with the Aboriginal people in Ontario by moving forward and doing all that we can to ensure that Aboriginal children and youth, Ontario's fastest-growing population, have a brighter future. We know that the hard work that you are doing will lead to improved relationships and will help with the successful implementation of our policies and programs. I know that one of the ministry's role is to ensure that Ontario's priorities are in line with the unique needs of Aboriginal people. This requires consulting with Aboriginal communities and making sure that Ontario ministries work together on Aboriginal policy and programs. Mr. Speaker, my question is, how is this government working with Aboriginal communities to ensure that Ontario's justice system reflects the distinct culture among the First Nations, Métis and Inuit people of Ontario?
Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the member for the question. The member is absolutely right, Mr. Speaker. The McGuinty government has worked very hard to build a new relationship with First Nation and Métis communities across this province. We've moved from a relationship, Mr. Speaker, that may have been at an historic low when we took office to a relationship that, frankly, is approaching an historic high when it comes to developing the mutual trust and respect that's needed in growing this very, very important relationship. The government recognizes, Mr. Speaker, the need to respect Aboriginal culture and history in everything we do, including within Ontario's justice system. We recognize that Aboriginal people account for only 2% of Ontario's population, but experience much higher incarceration rates. Our government Aboriginal justice strategy is making some real gains in addressing this, as well as other challenges, Mr. Speaker, that Aboriginal people face in the justice system. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I understand the importance attached to Aboriginal community justice programs. These programs operate in Aboriginal communities and are delivered by Aboriginal organizations. As we have just heard, the government clearly recognizes the importance of partnership with Aboriginal communities to find culturally appropriate responses to deal with the Aboriginal offenders and victims in the criminal justice system. Mr. Speaker, I understand that this government has just recently almost doubled its funding for Aboriginal community justice programs. This investment supports Aboriginal organizations to provide services in 23 communities across the province. I know my constituents in Ottawa Centre will be particularly interested in funding for a new Aboriginal community justice program that will be delivered through the Odawa Friendship Centre in Ottawa. Mr. Speaker, through you, would the minister tell this House how that investment will help reduce crime and victimization among the First Nations, Métis and the Inuit people in Ottawa?
Minister.
Refer this, Mr. Speaker, to the Attorney General.
Oh, good. Oh, the Attorney General.
I don't know if you got. Refer to the Attorney General, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Speaker. And Aboriginal community justice programs are enormously important. They are a better way of having offenders with relatively minor offences held accountable, but in a way that will ensure they don't repeat their criminal activity and they're plugged back into the community in a positive way. So the federal and the provincial government have doubled our funding for these programs. And just a few months ago, we were with the member from Ottawa Centre, who's a very strong advocate for these programs and for Odawa Friendship Centre, and we announced a $115,000 Aboriginal Community Justice Program for that centre, a program that will ensure pre- and post-charge diversion, a program that will improve outcomes for the offenders and for the communities and for Aboriginal justice generally.
New question.